and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Unreal World with me. I am Wolfric, and we are certainly starting to get to the more perilous time of the year now. The calendar up the top here is saying winter season. It's been saying that for a couple of days now, but it's saying late dirt month. In modern speak, that means it's late October. We are very, very close to a proper winter now, where there's going to be snow on the ground, ice is going to cover the rivers and the lakes and all that other kind of stuff. Everything's going to freeze over, so we really need to now make sure that we are prepared for what is going to be thrown in our direction. So, sorry, wrong controls there for a moment. Thought I was playing a first-person shooter. I'm trying to think of what we need to do for the next little while. As far as basic survival is concerned, we're fine. We've got a cabin, we've got a fireplace, we can make some firewood for it easily enough, we've got a cellar full of food, we've got a complete set of clothing. Most of it is actually starting to get pretty tatty now, so we might want to sit down and just do some repair work on it, stuff like that. We've got so much food, we've got weapons now, we've got everything that we need to survive the winter. So now, there are a few things that I want to do, but they are more, one of them is for just everyday life, but will also help as far as winter is concerned. The other one is more to do with having something to do during the winter, because that's the funny thing, is that most of the character deaths that occur during the winter are not due to not being prepared, not being, it's not dying due to coldness or hunger or anything else. A lot of people tend to find themselves ready for winter when it comes along. The hardest part about winter is the boredom, and that may sound like that sounds like a very bad thing to say about the game. It's not really that bad. It's when it's winter and it's cold outside, you obviously don't want to be going around, running outside, going hunting, looking for wolves or bears or any of that kind of stuff. You don't want to run into Neighbours warriors when it's freezing cold outside. You don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere hunting when at night you cannot see the square next to you. You can be zoomed in and not see anything apart from your character. It's hard to actually do anything when you can't see anything like that. Like, near impossible. Unless you have a torch on you so that you have a light source. But people do that. People will go out and they won't be prepared, and they end up dying somehow. They'll fall into a pit trap that they've made and can't remember where it is, and they don't see it, or they'll run afoul of some kind of pack of animals like wolves or bear or something, and they'll die due to their own ill-preparedness, because they were sitting around at home in their cabin and thought, wow, I have nothing to do, let's go out on a hunt, that'll be fun, and then they died. So I want to try and avoid doing anything like that. So what I've decided I want to do is I want to focus on cooking, at least in the short term, as something to do for us coming up. So I want to start looking at making things like soups and stews and whatnot, so that we can fill up our skins, and that will help our food to stretch out for a longer amount of time, because it'll by taking the base ingredients, it will stretch it out longer. So it may use up 2 or 3 pounds of meat and maybe a handful of vegetables or whatnot, but it will then last longer and it will be more nutritious, I believe. I think that's how it works. We will find out. But to do that, we're going to need a pot, and in order to have a pot, we're going to have to make one, because we haven't bought one. So if we're going to make one, it requires doing more of our ironwork, and if we're going to do ironwork, it means that I'd like to have a forge built, which is why you may be able to put 2 and 2 together and figure out why I'm here back at our old place where we decided to first build our cabin, and I'm taking all of these logs. because I need 42 logs to build a forge in the design in my head. I'm not even sure if this plan of mine is actually going to work or not, but I want to give it a try. And I've really screwed myself over here. Push one log off so that we can actually float it. There we go. Yeah, I have no idea if this is going to work or not. I've never seen anybody else do it. I don't know if buildings have to be complete before, like, completely encased before you can actually build inside them. My plan of what I want to do is I want to build, because ironworking takes so much fire, because everything requires fire to do, instead of having to burn through stacks and stacks of branches or firewood or blocks of wood or anything like that, and it's very inefficient, my theory is that by building something like a fireplace, it will make the fire go further. So instead of only maybe getting one piece of the process of blacksmithing out of a single fire, we might be able to get two processes out of a single fire. But the only problem is fireplaces need to be built inside of a building. But I don't want to build an entire building, I just want to try building a part of one. So I have this idea of beavers. I have this idea of building half a shack kind of thing on the water's edge. In the time that I've been off screen, I've also gone and gathered a fuck ton of stones and rocks, more than I'm probably going to need for anything else in the game. However, I need them for building a well. Now, as I've said in the past, this is usually, that's in the game for the purposes of people that don't set up next to a river or a lake or anything else like that. If you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no water around, you can build a well and all of a sudden you've got a fresh water source. But we have no need for that, we're right next to a river, so why would I want that? Well, here's what my plan is. Up here, where this bush and these twigs and everything else are, this is going to be our forge. It's going to be 3 tiles wide inside. It's going to have 3 indoor tiles. It's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 walls. It's going to have 3 along the back, 2 corners and 2 sides. And in there, it's going to have a fireplace in the one corner, an anvil in the centre, and another space for our materials to keep at, and then on the space directly in front of the anvil, outside of the shack, I'm going to build a well. And with that, I should be able to stand on top of the anvil and have fire, raw materials, and a well all within reach of the single square, and with the fireplace there, fire should last longer, so it should make the entire process more efficient. This is my theory. Whether it will actually pan out or not, I don't know. But the reason that I'm doing all of this moving of the logs now is due to the fact that winter's on the way, because once winter gets here and the lakes freeze over, the only option for wood to do that kind of thing that I'm going to have is the trees that are on this island, and even then it's going to be a long, arduous process to drag trees from all across the island to this one particular spot, whereas if I go back to where we've just been from, our old house, then we've got a load of... oh, God, what am I doing? We've got a load of logs there from when we started building our house before that are never going to get used again unless we use them, and I'm pretty sure, I haven't actually counted them up, but I'm reasonably sure that there are enough logs there for what we want to do. So if we can get all those logs back to our settlement before the rivers and lakes freeze over, then that means that over the course of the next month or 2 in game, we will have the ability to build our forge. Once we've built our forge, we can continue on with our ironworking and everything, which means we can build a pot, which means that we can start cooking, making our food supplies last longer, and generally just experimenting with them. I like this Rain's cookbook that I've got installed mod, but I've not actually really used it yet. All I know is part of it adds some new, oh god, what am I doing? part of the mod is that it adds some new recipes, like the berry tarts and the berry pie and all that, which is interesting. I don't know if they're anything special about them or not, but I like it. So I'd like to use that. But the other thing that the mod adds is that it makes, if I'm understanding the description correctly, instead of only being able to use raw meat in recipes, like making stew and soups and stuff like that, you had to use raw meat in the past. I think now what Rain has done is he has made it possible with this mod to use preserved meat. Sorry, I just had a complete blank there for a moment. Yeah. He's made it possible so that instead of having to use raw meat, you can use preserved meat instead, which should make it a lot more efficient, because we have got loads of preserved meat. We've got preserved meat coming out every bloody orifice. But I don't want to have to go hunting every single time I want to cook a stew, because that's just really bloody inefficient. So we're going to just quickly... Oh, no, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. No, don't quit. Oh, thank God. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, we're going to quickly eat and drink and run away and try and get some sleep. Fix our sleeping schedule a bit. There we go, close enough. Yeah, blanked. I want to basically try cooking and whatnot. It'd be a lot more... oh, that was what I was saying about the raw meat and all that. It's just convenient, basically. It's convenient for us to not have to go and hunt every single time we want to do some new form of cooking. I mean, we've got plenty of flour, so we can make stuff like berries, we can make stuff like porridge and bread and all that kind of stuff. But the really nutritious stuff and the real useful thing about having the water skins is to make soup or stew and fill the skins up with them, so that instead of having to take skins with water plus several stacks of food, we can just take the skins full of food and it will satisfy both our thirst and our hunger. And I just want to get that done ASAP, ready for next year when spring comes along and we really start hunting again proper. But I mean, even then, saying that, we are in a position now where the amount of food that we've got, I wonder if it would actually last for a bloody long time. Like, I wonder how late in the year we would actually have to start hunting again. We've got so much. And it's funny because since it wasn't that long ago that I was saying, oh crap, we're running out of food, and now all of a sudden it's like, I think we have too much now. You can never have too much, but I think we've got more than we're going to have to worry about for a while. Are there boards? Yes, because I'm going to have to make some ceilings, so quick you as well. Yeah. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Oh, shit. That's the plan for the immediate future, is getting the resources now before winter comes in and freezes us in and rocks us. Ooh, what? You hear us swear. Ooh. Ooh, that could be bad. Yes, abort the task. This could be problematic. Where did we hear the swear from? Where was it? I think this might be because I'm a thief now. I'm going to now cancel that task. Yes. Stop moving the logs and just head towards the boat. Because something that I haven't revealed to you guys yet is that while thinking about cooking and all that kind of stuff, I I decided that I was going to come back here to our little field that we discovered was actually owned by the village, and as it was the only place that I could think of where we could get some vegetables for the purposes of cooking, I decided to help myself to a few handfuls of broad beans. And yeah, I think that swear was the people realising what I'd done. So this might be a village that we'll have to avoid from now on, because I think they have quite the grudge against us because I stole their shit. Let's have a look. We heard the swear, which is why I asked us if we wanted to cancel the task, but I can't actually see anyone. So where are they? They don't swim, they don't paddle, they don't row, so they must have been somewhere reasonably close. Oh, he's wielding a Calmole knife. They want to kill me for stealing from them. I wonder if I can get close enough to talk to him from the river. Is he mad? He's mad. You get no response, go closer. Do I have to? Stop, you mischief maker, I need to tell you something. Tell me something or kill me? Wielding a Calmole knife. Wielding a Calmole spear. We're going to put an end to it here while I try and figure out what the hell is going to happen if I go ashore, and we will be back in the next episode where I will either turn and run away and never come back, or I will get prepared to murder them all in their sleep. So until next time, I'll see you later.